So also we have matching names. Before we had like matching headings, and we know, for example, the way to get them, like for example in the passage. Matching names also, they are going to give you like a group of names. Those names could be scientists, researchers, philosophers, whatever. And actually they have some, for example, information they have talked about, they have invented, whatever. Your actually mission is just to match the name with his or her, for example, information from the passage and so on. So in this type of question, you are asked to match someone's name, normally an experts, researchers, scientists, and so on. To what? To the statement that has been uttered by him or her. You are given a list of names and a list of statements. Okay, Saber, Farah, Muhammad, Qasim. These are the names. And each person, like from those actually scientists or researchers and so on, like has said something, statement. Okay, so you need just to match the person and his, like for example, speech or words and so on. So match the names. Okay, the reading text will tell you what the person has said or done, normally research findings, and this will guide you to the correct answer. And this also will guide you to the correct answer. So we have here some tips. First of all, this is very important. Just focus on the easy questions first. If you can't find the answer to the question, move on and come back to it later. Okay, so try to do the one that is easy for you. You know, there are some names actually it has been mentioned only one time. And there are some names actually they have been mentioned twice, sometimes thrice, sometimes 4 times. So it is much more easier for you just to pick and try to look for the names that has or the names that have mentioned actually once مرة واحدة. حاول انك تطلع الاسماء اللي ذكرت في النص مرة واحدة.
Sir,
هذا
if you're
بالنسبة لك
sharing the file, we can't see it.
Sorry?
If you're sharing the file, we can't see it.
You can't see now? I told you, just you told me, for example. Okay, never mind. You can see now?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so matching also names, as I told you. So try first to focus on the easy questions. As I told you, so there are some, for example, names will be mentioned actually once. There are some names will be mentioned twice, and there are some thrice and sometimes more than 3 times, maybe 4 times. So it is much more easier for you to do actually the questions that's going to be mentioned only one time, that are going to be mentioned only one time. Easy to pick them like up from the passage. So okay, this is number one. Find the names in the text quickly by scanning for them and then underline them. So we are going to talk about this technique. First of all, you read the passage and try to underline all the names that are given in the passage, just under the names, all of them. Actually, you will not have, like, for example, highlighter, like, for example, in the exam. You are going to have only a circle, only a pencil. So you just maybe make some lines or circles and so on. The names might be shortened. So just the first and the last names. Okay, so for example, John Jones might appear as only Johns in the text. Maybe you will find Mukhtar Al-Ansi, you will find only Al-Ansi, okay, in the passage. Okay, so also you need to focus on this. Some of the names might be used more than once. Okay, so there are some names actually they are going to be mentioned several times. Check the question for the instructions on this. And unfortunately, the questions are not going to be in order. Okay, so we have true, false, not given. Okay, and we have complete the questions. They are in order, but this one actually, and also the headings that we studied before, they are not in order because you are going to look only for the names. You are going to look for the names. So now let's have a look at some techniques we need to follow. First of all, read the question carefully. Read the question carefully. Focus on the names first. Just you focus on the names. Read them and then scan for the names in the reading task and underline them. After that, actually, you just read and then you try to underline all the names that will be given in the passage. Underline them because it will be much more easier to scan actually searching for the information. Remember that some names will appear more than once and you should underline them all. Okay. Focus on the names that appear only once first. ركز على الأسماء التي تكون موجودة في النص من مرة واحدة فقط لأنها سهلة عليك تعرف تطلع الناس أو الشخص هذا يعني شو قال تحديدا. So focus on the names that appear only once first because these are the easiest. These are the easiest. If there are actually, for example, or if there is like one person, okay, this person has been mentioned maybe 3 times in the passage, one in the beginning, one in the middle, and one at the end. And then they will give you like one statement. Okay, so you want just to, for example, search whether this person actually has said this statement or no. That's why you are going to read in the various situations. So that's why it takes like a long time. But actually, if we have only one person has been mentioned only once in the passage, and this person has said something, okay, it will be much more easier for us to get actually or to know what he has already, for example, said, what he has already been said, or what he has already said. Okay, so it is much more easier for us. Read around the name. So after you make circles, for example, then you read, for example, the statements that will be given. Read around the name to see if their findings or research come before or after the name. Here, this is very important. Sometimes the answer is going to be before, okay? And sometimes the answer is going to be after the names. Okay, so don't just notice the name and try to read right after the name. So it will be a problem because sometimes the answer is going to be before. It is like the history of childhood. Still remember? The history of childhood was a very heated topic, blah, blah, blah. So the answer actually is in the beginning. It is not like at the end. So sometimes we'll say, for example, Mr. Mukhtar has invented something. Okay. He will say something has been invented by Mr. Mukhtar. So here, actually, it is passive. So the answer is going to be before. So you need to focus on this also. Read the research or findings and then go back to the statements, for example, in the question and match them. So actually, when you know the name, you will read around the name and then you will know immediately which statements or which statement belongs to the person. Which statement belongs to the person. When you find, for example, the statement that matches a name, delete the statement. Just you delete it because you will be given a list of statements. That statement that you found, for example, in the passage, just try to delete it. Just try to delete it. Each statement can only be used once. Each statement among the others is going to be mentioned only once or can be used only once. Repeat and repeat and repeat for the names, for the rest of the names. Repeat for the rest of the names. Okay, so first of all, you are going to be given actually a group of sentences or a group of statements, and also you will be given a group also of names. You need to read actually the group of names, and then you start searching and scanning for the names like in the passage, all the names. try to circle. You can make also squares, circles, like عشان تتعلموا يعني. مثلا واحد من الأسماء يكون في مربع، واحد من الأسماء يكون في دائرة، واحد على أساس تعرف تميز بسرعة. اوكي لانه you don't have like pens and pencils or highlighters in the exam عشان تلون او ممكن تكتب مثلا جون بلون ثاني وهذا بلون ثاني بحيث ان تكون سهله لك توصل للمنطقه. ما عندك الا قلم رصاص ولهذا ممكن تكتب دائره ممكن تكتب مربع and so on. طيب okay so now I read and then I try to search for the names. I make circles اعمل دوائر او مربعات اول شيء على الاسماء. بعدين ارجع الى الستيتمنتس اقرا على معلومه معلومه. I read actually the sentence, I try to understand it, then I search for the name. For example, who said this one? Is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one? He is this or that, blah, 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 until I find, for example, the answer. Until I find, for example, the answer. You can see the file.
Yes, sir.
All right, so now we have a new passage. It is called the New Ice Age. So first of all, as I told you, just do skimming. Skimming is very important. In each passage that you tackle, for example, in the IELTS exam, first of all, you need to have a look at the picture, the titles, the subtitles, the first and second sentences, and so on. You need to read in order to understand what is the topic is going to be about. I know headings actually, or like matching names actually, you don't need, for example, skimming that much because you are going to depend on scanning. But actually, you do skimming because maybe you will have multiple choice questions. And based on skimming, you will predict actually the answer. Okay. I do skimming. I know that it is, for example, task and so on is going to be about the eyes, about, for example, eyes prevalently, or majorly about the eyes age. Just William Carey is a serious son, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now let's see, for example, the questions. The questions, okay, so now you see, we have to choose the correct answer. اختار الإجابة الصحيحة. Okay. فاختيار الإجابة الصحيحة عادة تستطيع أنك تخمن الإجابة بس من معرفتك للسكيمينج وأيضا من قراءتك للنص بشكلها صحيح. Okay, as you can see here, we have, he said, match each statement with the correct person, A to D. Write the appropriate letter AD in the boxes 18 to 22 in your answer sheet. Okay, so you may use any letter more than once. Okay, عندما يقول لك ممكن تستخدمه أكثر من مرة معناها إنه البي أو الأي أو الدي أو ممكن يتكرر مرتين، يعني ممكن الشخص قال حاجتين. Okay. طيب البيانات أو statements are here. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. طيب what names الأسماء؟ أول اسم معكم okay let me just highlight the names. عندكم ويليام كاري, Terrace Joyce or Joyce, Bob Dixon and National Academy of Sciences. هذه الأسماء اللي لازم تروح للpassage and try to make a circle around them. Make a circle around them. وبعدين انت راح ترجع تقرا العناوين، انت راح ترجع تقرا البيانات وكل واحد ايش قال. طيب now let's go to the passage from the beginning. زي ما قلنا لك انت في الاختبار حاول انك تفعل مربع، اكتب دائره، حاول يعني تتعلم بسهوله. احنا بالنسبه لنا هنا سيكون سهل، احنا بنعمل highlighting quickly highlighting. Okay. So let's go from the beginning. طيب معنا ويليام كاري، هذا اول اسم حدده. نفس quick you just go quickly. For example, you try to search where also William Carey has been mentioned. Says Carey. Okay. إذا في معك ثنتين يعني هذا Carey has been mentioned twice. Okay. طيب okay, so try the second name also. You need also to search for Joyce maybe. Okay. Terrace Joyce or Terrence. Just try to search very quickly to the names. Okay, and also we have National Academy of Sciences, right? It is here, National Academy of Sciences. Okay, so National Academy of Sciences. Okay, so now we just highlight, for example, very quickly. زي ما قلنا لكم انت ممكن تفعل بالمربع، ممكن كل اسم تغير له شكل. Okay, so what else here? Choice also. You see, this person has been mentioned also. 1, 2, twice. National Academy only one, right? Up to the moment. And Curie actually twice. يعني أسهل لك National Academy of Sciences. الأسهل لك. طيب, let's go. Maybe we'll find it also downstairs. Also, we have here the names actually. Says Joe's also. So we have 3 times. خطير هذا يعني. 3 مرات ذكر في النص يعني إنه بيتعبك هذا. Okay, so okay, just you continue. For example, we have also one, I think, this one also. Bob Jackson, okay, has been also mentioned only once up to the moment, only once. Anyways, you just go very fast, try to search, for example, the names. Try to search actually the names. Okay. طيب إذا الآن إحنا حددنا الأسماء اللي الآن نريد نبحث عليها، لأنه هذه الأسماء كل واحد من هذه الأسماء قال شيء أو اخترع شيء لازم نوصله بالبيانات المعلومات. طيب هذا الخطوة الأولى. Okay, understood. Now just I make circles around the names. Okay, then else, what else? Okay, let's go now to the statements. طيب الآن بيقول most Americans are not prepared for the next ice age. من اللي قالها؟ طيب عندك 4. هل ويليام كيري, for example, Terence, Bob Jackson, or National Academy of Science. طيب National Academy of Science. طيب هذا المعلومة الأولى. The result of the abrupt climate change. احنا قلنا حسب التكنيك ابدا مثلا في الناشونال اكاديمي اوف ساينس لاني ما ذكرت الا مره واحده في النص. احاول اطلعها على اساس اعرف المعلومه اللي قالوا عليها. طيب نشوف لا عند الناشونال اكاديمي اوف ساينس حسب الالوان بسرعه يعني حسب الدوائر. اوكي. What is National Academy of Science? Okay, this is National Academy of Science. I will see, for example, what did they say? They said, for example, here, abrupt climate change. Okay. Produced by National Academy of Science, peak the most blah 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 losses at كذا كذا كذا. Okay, so in 2002, reported titled "Abrupt Climate Change," for example, produced by the National Academy of Sciences. شفتوا الإجابة تكون أحيانا قبل. Okay, نروح للاختيارات أو نروح للstatements. شوف, most Americans are not prepared. ما قالت ناشونال أكاديمي. طيب عندكم the result of abrupt climate change. Okay. نزلت تأكد تحت the word is not as ما ذكرتها الأكاديمية. Global warming also ما ذكرتها الأكاديمية. Alter people to the change of the ocean water also it doesn't or hasn't been mentioned by the academy. The academy said the abrupt climate change and it is mentioned as it is like in the passage. Abrupt climate change. Abrupt climate change. إذا كيف تفعل على طول؟ بتروح مثلا للخيارات هنا اللي هو الابrupt. Okay. And you write D. Then you write actually D. Okay, so just you write here D. That's it. This is actually what I mean by, for example, searching for the statement or names. It is easy. It is not difficult. طيب الآن في معنا someone else, for example, you search. Most Americans are not prepared for the next ice age. واضح الكلام. Most Americans are not prepared for the next ice age. واضح إنه الأمريكا أصلاً مو مستعدين للمرحلة الجاية من الثلج. طيب نريد نعرف من الذي قالها. So we'll go through names very quickly. Through names. He said, William Carey said a serious blah blah blah. You read very fast, skimming and scanning. Try to search. Here there is no. Carrie also said tapping his finger on the blah 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 painting blah blah blah, and then it is not here. خلاص تعدى بسرعة. نروح لعند الأخ هذا. Terrence Joyce, for example, Joyce said who chairs the Woods Hall blah blah blah. Okay, ما في هنا. And take the hundreds of blah blah. He alarmed that Americans have yet to take, for example, threat seriously. For example, and then here he is the person who talked about Americans also, but actually in other words like. اوكي اذا الشخص الذي قال وتحدث عن امريكا هو الاخ هذا تيرنس جيوس. طيب نريد نتاكد مثلا ممكن عندك شاكك او في حدا شخص ثاني. ناشونال اكاديمي تبحث بسرعه كذا searching very quickly.
No.
No also. طيب ايضا هنا جوس ممكن يكون هو مرتين او ثلاث مشكله. شوف داكسون for example. He said alarm for the conference. هذا conference مؤتمر. اتوقع هذا الكلمه ذكرت في الاختيارات. Okay, for example, here we have شوفوا كلمة conference، يعني أنت بتبحث عن واحد تطلع الشخص الثاني. هذا ديكسون قاله على طول تعرف إن هذا ديكسون. أوكي طيب وهذا هيكون جوز. إذا هذا هيكون number what? Actually it is number B. So it is B. طيب إلى الآن هنا الأمريكans is going to be B. طيب وهذا D. أوكي. طيب الآن عندكم مثلا the world is not as cold as it is used to be. من الذي قال هذا الكلام مثلا؟ أوكي طيب ممكن تطلعوا أنتم حسب الأسماء. So he said the world is not cold as used to be. Here's the person.
It's not here.
Okay, if it is not here, just check. Maybe you will find it some other places. Okay. National Academy, say it like this.
It's cold happened in 10 years, says Terrence Josie.
No, this is actually talking about something else. National Academy also is talking about something else. Okay. So let's see here. Joyce, maybe. Just try to search. He said the world is not like as cold as used to be in before. نريد هذا الكلام بنفس السياق. Okay. This one also is not.
No.
It's about the fresh water and just says Joyce maybe here having given its heat blah 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 blah. إذا الإجابة مو يعني إذا في البداية الإجابة. طيب هي ويليام كيري سيكون حسب يعني التخمين. الآن ممكن تقرأ مثلا he said serious super climate scientist blah 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 he has spent a lot of time. طيب هنا مثلا تقرأ كذا similar to those for example by 16th century painter also turned blah blah blah. He said here make the now temperature European for example look more like such frigate settings were commonly during the period dating roughly blah 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 because much of North America and Europe for example had theories of a later ice age. يعني هو اللي بيتكلم عن المنطقة هذه. So actually the answer is going to be here. So this is actually the answer. He said for example he looked more like such frigate settings were commonplace during a period dating roughly from 1300 for example to 8050 because of much North America and for example Europe. So this is actually the person who talked about several countries, several for example in Europe, in America, in North Africa. So this is actually the whole world. And also is the person who talked about ice, يعني about anything. Okay, حول البرد والصقيع والبلدان هو الشخص الوحيد اللي يتحدث على هذه النقطة. طيب إذا إجابته يكون على so here actually the word is not as cold as it is Carey. It is William Carey. طيب altered people conference هذا ديكسون حسب ما شفناه قبل شوي بس طبعا راح تتأكد. طيب هذا global warming اللي هو الاحتباس الحراري is closely connected to the ice age. من اللي قال هذا الكلام؟ نبدأ من البداية. هذا بيتكلم عن تاريخ الثلوج ولا آخر من مو هذا. شوفوا تيرس ممكن يكون تيرس. Terrence. شوفوا كلمة global warming أو شيء تشابهها. The National Academy of Science also didn't say about anything. Okay, also it is not here, not here. Political, blah, 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 ice, survival, and the world's pool, not here also. But the first thing first, isn't the earth actually warming? خلاص بدأنا نشوف كلمة warming. Indeed, it is says Juice, in his culture office will also flight from Fuji Cape Good Point. So he explains how much warming could actually be the surprising blah blah blah. اوكي اذا عرفنا الاجابه هنا بس تتاكد تحاول مره ثانيه انك تتاكد روح لعند بوب جاكسون. British, for example, oceanographer who sounded an alarm at a Bowie conference in blah 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 has turned into blah blah blah. ما يعني مو هذا الشخص. جوز ممكن يكون مرة ثانية عادي حتى لا ما في داعي تقرأ لأن هنا ممكن يطلع جوز. إذا الإجابة ستكون جويس اللي قال هذا الكلام هو. Okay, so it's going to be here. جوز رقم كم؟ أول part. جوز B. إذا ستكون هنا B. وهنا دكسن actually it is إيش؟ C. CB. وهذا A أول واحد. William Carey. وهذا D. وهذا most Americans actually also B مرة ثانية. اوكي اذا هذه كانت الاجابات. تريدوا تتاكدوا ايضا موجود في الاخير. You can check for example the answers. Okay, so what is it like?